Hunter, welcome back to Closing Bell. Listen, we can get into the fundamentals of air travel, but something in your note caught my eye. It has nothing at all to do with how many people are on a plane or whatever. You note that because of some of the government rules about the bailouts during COVID, executive pay at the airlines was capped for the next couple of years. And so you write, stock price appreciation is the best avenue for management to recoup lost compensation. I found that fascinating because what you're saying is, forget about the fundamentals. The CEOs, they have got a strong incentive to do whatever it takes to get their stock price up.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Brian. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, it's not just the CEOs. Let's not forget. It's really anybody that made over $420,000 a year in 2019, I should say, which is a lot of people. By the way, VPs, MDs, SVPs, in some cases, MDs, I should say. But yeah, we call it triage pay. And these boards gave a bunch of restricted stock grants, slugs to these executives because they're not allowed to pay them anything more than what they made pre-COVID. And if you made over a certain threshold, some increment above that, and they're going to want these stock grants to vest. And the only way to do that really is to demonstrate things that drive multiples higher, which is pricing power. So I think they're under a unique set of incentives that they haven't had before because of the amount of pay that they've lost over the last couple of years. Do they have the levers to pull to get that stock price up? I mean, what can they do? Unfortunately, what they're probably going to do is what's not what the passengers want, which is just keep as few planes out there as possible, as crowded as possible, with pricing power. Well, we'll see, right? I mean, airlines aren't going to coordinate with each other to raise price. But I can tell you that if oil prices are at $80 or above and they're paying $2.50 a gallon of jet fuel, which is more than they've paid since 3Q14, then yeah, they're going to try to pass that through. And, the government has been constantly injecting billions of dollars into this industry through bailouts. But that's over now. And those bailouts prevented them from taking real structural changes to their business, like cutting bad airports that lose money, potentially putting down aircraft because they have this labor infrastructure that's still in place. And, that ended on September 30th. And now they're finally going to be able to be free to make the type of changes that airlines usually make in downturns like this. So, yeah, we'll see. If that involves raising prices to try and pass through some oil price increases, well, then so be it. They got to do it. Every other business does it.
Really rough week, Hunter, for the airlines. The group is down 6%. It's now, 25% off its highs. COVID is back. The restrictions are back in Europe. Is that just an instinct to sell the airlines? Does that correlate with lost business? Are we seeing it already?
First of all, that's why we upgraded the group, was because COVID is back, and because oil prices are higher, because airlines have staffing problems and operational problems that they're going to have to think about as they try and consider adding back supply. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of challenges that these airlines are facing right now. And lockdowns in Europe are going to give the U.S. airlines a scare to think about how quickly they want to add back supply next year, which should give them pricing power if they add back at a level that's commensurate with demand. So, yeah, you see headlines about Europe locking down. People sell airline stocks. This is a very factor-driven group right now. It's correlated with cruise lines. It's not a lot of fundamental work that's going on in the space. But, once airlines start to make some decisions that revolve around self-help, you'll start to see them disperse a little bit within the group and start not being so correlated with other reopening stocks.
And your favorite pick?
It's actually Copa. The Copa Airlines in Panama, they're a machine. They reported earnings on Wednesday. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. They're great. Among the U.S. airline stocks, like a few of them probably lean towards Alaska Airlines. That's probably our favorite.
I was not
US
expecting
airline.
that. I thought you were going to say Love because you upgraded them today.
Love is good, but we already had an outperform on Alaska, so yeah.